All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Shoeonhead. Going to be talking about more political stuff this time, it seems like, with Epstein, Fuentes, and the Democrats' revenge, is what he's calling it. Saying, how did this happen? It's like, well, we knew exactly how it happened. You use subversive language, and this is what we get. This is the outcome. But yeah, my luckily this one's going to go a lot better. Volume's at max. And I'm not playing at ×2 speed. I did that with my last video. I just decided not to even upload it because of that. I'll probably just scrap the upload entirely. But yeah, I'll be getting into this episode, and this looks like it's going to be a much more politically charged one. So here's hoping I get more views on it this time, like I did with my last one that was extremely politically charged. All right. Well, let's get into this and let's see what Shu has to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to inform you that the rumors are indeed true. The Democrats have struck back. In the New Jersey governor's race, the Democrat won. In the Virginia governor's race, the Democrat won. And in the New York City race, Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani defeated Andrew Cuomo to become the next mayor of America's largest city. But the question on everyone's mind is, was it just a fluke? Just easy wins in blue cities and states? Or is there something more to this? Is this a sign of things to come? Is the Democratic Party finally turning their losing streak around? Are they actually listening to the people?
Wait, what cities were these? Okay, it's Virginia, but...
Back. In the New Jersey governor's
So, okay, that's on the East Coast.
race, the Democrat won. In the Virginia
Where is Virginia located? USA map. I'm gonna have to edit that out so I don't get freaking doxed myself. Shit, where's Virginia again? I thought it was like somewhere in here. West Virginia. Virginia. Okay, so it's also East Coast. Okay.
governor's race, the Democrat won. And in the New York City race, Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani defeated Andrew Cuomo to become the next mayor of America's largest city.
But yeah, it's all East Coast stuff, so this is normal. It's like Democrats are more on the East Coast, and the right-leaning people are more in the center, or center of USA. So this is normalized. Like, this is not surprising at all.
The question on everyone's mind is, was it just a fluke? Just easy wins in blue cities and states? Or is there something more to this? Is this a sign of things to come? Is the Democratic Party finally turning their losing streak around? Are they actually listening to the people now? Did they finally learn their lesson? No. Thanks for watching. My last 3 videos about electoral politics were warning the Democratic Party that young men were moving right because the party f***ing sucks and was becoming the young men eat sh and die movement, spanking the Democratic Party for losing because they elected one of the most unlikable shittiest candidates while offering absolutely nothing to voters, and defending the voters from the wrath of a bunch of liberal streamer man-children calling the voters stupid and evil for daring not to vote for Hillary Clinton and brownface. But the thesis for all 3 of those videos was basically the same. As the right embraces working-class populism, the Democratic Party and the left will continue to fade into irrelevancy. But as I also predicted in those last videos, there might be an eventual pendulum swing, and it might be happening much sooner than I predicted. Like, how did we go from Republicans winning the popular vote, in part thanks to a lot of the young people voting, to a bunch of data showing those same young people dropping their support for the GOP already? But the interesting thing is, those young people don't seem to be moving to the Democratic Party either. Where are they going? And do the Democrats...
Where are they going? What do you think? They're going to do what Nepal did and just fucking overthrow its government, as well as what Mexico was starting to do.
have a plan to scoop these people up. Yes, they do, and they called it, I'm not kidding, deciding to win.
Okay, this is going to be a fun video. Let's see where we go.
Deciding to win, as if the whole time they have just been simply deciding to lose. Yeah. It was a choice, guys. They changed their mind and they want to win now. In this video, I will...
Wait, what did that subtext say? Toward a common sense renewal of the Democratic Party. Common sense, eh? That doesn't exist nowadays.
to lose. It was a choice, guys. They changed their mind and they want to win now. In this video, I will talk about why I think Zoran Mamdani won. We will go through the Democrat Party's plan to decide to win. We will briefly talk about the rise of the political commentator Nick Fuentes, the MAGA Civil War, and what I like to call the inevitable rise of shoesalism. If that sounds interesting, stick around. If it doesn't, you can leave. It's not like I'll miss you or anything. Baka. I know a lot of you are not.
Shut the fuck up, Shoe. Don't ever say that again. What the fuck? You don't even know what that means. Oh my god.
Very interested.
That made me cringe so badly.
In politics, you come here for the fun Reddit slop, the men versus women content, yeah, I know. But unfortunately, politics kind of seeps into your lives whether you want it to or not. So you might as well be entertained when you hear about it, and have some fun with it when you can. And I just so happen to have the perfect app for that. So before we get into this political deep dive, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor,
recording
one of my
this at
favorite
4 in the
sponsors
morning.
to work with, Ground News. Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a transparent and easy way to read news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and makes sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features on Ground News is the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have been covered by one side of the spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here is a story about how the White House apparently intervened in an Andrew Tate federal probe. 29 news sources covered this. 86% of them were left-wing. None were right-wing. Ground News also makes it really easy to compare headlines to see how political bias can affect framing. For example, this feud between Elon Musk and Billie Eilish. This right-wing headline reads, "Elon Musk claps back at Billie Eilish after she slams him for hoarding wealth." And this left-wing article frames the same story as, "Elon Musk's comebacks are as flat as his attempts at jokes." Very different vibes going on here. I have been using Ground News since 2021 because it is just a great and fun way to keep up with the news. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all their amazing features. So go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code here on screen, or use the link in the video description down below. It's only like $5 a month, which is basically the price of like a coffee. You can also gift a subscription to somebody. Just select the Vantage subscription, add a customized gift message, and Ground News will send it straight to their inbox where they can activate it. The perfect Christmas present for your out-of-touch uncle who gets all his news from Facebook. So thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. Right.
I didn't skip it.
Now let's get back to
I almost skipped it after that Baka comment that you said, Shoe, but I didn't skip it.
The video. For those of you familiar with the Shoeonhead channel, you know I've harshly criticized the Democratic Party for all my career. Some say too harshly.
No.
Frankly, I don't care. And some say I'm not harsh enough on the Republicans. First of all, true, but let's be honest, that's not why you come here. You go to Kyle Kalinske for that, just like you go to Destiny to see opinions you can hear on CNN, or to Hassan for dog training tips. You come here to hear, golly gee willikers, I'm left-wing and the Democrats have gone crazy. That's the shit you're here for. But are the Democrats actually getting their shit together? Or did they simply get lucky in a few blue areas? One of those blue areas being my city, New York.
Yeah, I think they just got lucky, especially New York. New York is... it's a crazy place.
Where Democratic Socialist candidate Zoran Mamdani won the election and will become the new mayor. And a lot of people are like really confused about how this happened. And if you're one of those people, you really need to keep watching. If you don't understand why Mamdani won, I'm sorry to say, but you're kind of like the liberals in 2016 who didn't understand why Trump won. It's actually extremely understandable why Zoran Mamdani won, and it's not just because New York is full of commies or whatever. He is objectively the best Democratic candidate that they've had in a very, very long time. Like, I know the bar is in hell there, but he's young, he's energetic, he's charismatic, and people are really tired of the White House doubling as a retirement home. And of course, I like many of his economic policies. I like the universal childcare thing, the transportation, flipping off the Christopher Columbus statue. That's the shit I don't like. Bitch, that's our fucking guy. He was a brave Italian explorer who discovered America, and in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story. I've said this many times, but I don't think the good left-wing policies can even exist alongside the bad left-wing policies. Like, I don't know how you can have free transportation, but also be soft on crime. Like, I don't know, like, in what world does that work out? You can't have nice, clean, free transportation if a bunch of drug addicts and violent felons are going around stabbing people and setting them on fire. You can't have nice things if you don't have rules to enforce those nice things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but rules are racist, I've been told. It's like the rules are more aggressive towards specific people, and enforcing those rules makes them not prosper as much as other people, and you can't have those rules because of that.
It's always such a breath of fucking fresh air when I go back to visit my family in the suburbs of Long Island, and I go to the CVS, and the fucking toothpaste is free from their plexiglass prisons. I shouldn't have to wait 10 minutes for some poor wagey to come unlock the cagey so I can buy fucking shampoo. We don't have to live that way. Maybe he'll do great, or maybe he gets into power and immediately cucks to the establishment like some other people.
I don't
like to talk about it. I just don't know how.
Oh wait, that's her in AOC, isn't it?
Like some other people.
Yeah, it's her, and I think that's AOC. I don't know AOC too well. I don't know all of her views. I just know she's left-leaning.
I don't like to talk about it. I just don't know how the hell anyone thought Andrew Cuomo was going to win. He killed a bunch of grandmas during COVID.
As you admitted this week, you personally altered the state health department report to undercount the death total, to hide the death total, and then evaded and lied to these families for 5 years. So
you killed a shit ton of people. For what? Plus, he doesn't even live in New York City. He doesn't live in the city he's running to be mayor of. Cuomo just kind of expected to win based on name recognition alone and being like, hey, at least I'm not the other guy. Sound familiar? Trump actually offered a vision. Make America great again. Mamdani offered a vision. A New York City you can afford. So people took a chance on him. People wanted something different. Andrew Cuomo, he had no vision or anything. Oh man, I love tuning into a debate about New York City, and 80% of it is about another f***ing country.
The first foreign visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first?
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
I would go to Israel.
I'd make my 4th trip to Israel.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel?
That was the exact...
Oh my god! And isn't like you can't criticize Israel at all, as I've been told nowadays. I just don't even care. It's like, I'm Canadian myself, but just focus on the country that you guys live in. Like, seriously. That's why he won right there. Yep. That's exactly it.
Moment I knew Zoran was going to win. Bro was just surrounded by NPCs. I love how they're like, where would you go? And Zoran was like, I'm gonna stay here. And instead of being like, no, Zoran, the question was, where would you go? They're like, why wouldn't you go to Israel? Like, that's the answer to the question. Like, that's just the default answer to that question. His win was very much in part a direct response to the affordability crisis that many Americans are facing. So what is the GOP's answer to the affordability crisis? Oh, great news, guys. There is no affordability crisis. It doesn't exist. It's all in your head, silly. Need to save money? Simply don't buy your grandmother a Christmas present this year.
Yeah. Budget. You need a plan. Also remember, adults don't need gifts, okay? Focus on the people in your life who are...
Holy shit. That is... I can't say that word. That is dumb.
Age 3 to 18, grandma doesn't need slippers. If they don't live by you, don't get them a gift. Now's not the time to spend and break the bank.
Zoran's win was also basic.
Oh my god, this is going to be a long video. Oh my goodness. We're not even to the Fuentes part and everything and whatever shoeism is or whatever. Oh my goodness.
A direct response to the housing crisis in America. So what is the GOP's response to the pie-in-the-sky, commie gobbledygook that Zoran Mamdani is selling? Surely they have a better solution.
Here we go. The White House is floating this idea. Bill Pulte is saying, thanks to President Trump, we can indeed work on the 50-year mortgage, a complete game changer. How does that work in dollars? Here you go. 30-year fixed mortgage right now. You're paying $2,038 a month, principal and interest on a $400,000 home. At the bottom, under 50 years, you'd save a couple $100 a month at $1,822 principal and interest. That is proposed. Do you like this idea?
I do not like this idea.
Not lowering prices, not building more housing, no, just being a good little slave to the bank for 50 years. You might as well be a rentoid forever in this case. Like, at least you don't have to fix your own dishwasher. You will own nothing and be happy. Doesn't that sound great, Gen Z? Vote for us. We'll release the Epstein files and finally drain the swamp. Awesome. Finally, justice. Here it comes, the Epstein Files Phase 1. We got all your favorite E-celebs here. Don't you think that's a little tacky? I mean, like, this is an international child trap. The Epstein Files are on my desk. Oh, that's great, that's great. That's what we've been waiting for. Well? Oh, they don't exist. Wait, what? Yeah, the Epstein Files don't exist. They're a Democrat hoax. But you just said, hey, what the f***? That's my wallet. Sorry, Israel needs new weapons. Bye.
Yep.
Psst. What do you want, Democrat? Vote for us. Why? What do you have to offer? Hey, that's my wallet again. What are you people doing? Sorry, Israel needs new weapons.
Yep.
Bye. The Epstein files are a really big deal. This is not a partisan issue. You should absolutely care about an international child trafficking blackmail operation consisting of the most powerful people in the world. And anyone telling you to move on is coping, gaslighting, or in on it. If whatever is in there is so damning that it is a national security risk.
And like I said this before, I said this last time I got to this part, Civil War. Like, it's coming. Like, I swear. Like, in like 5 to 10 years.
The people deserve to know. Like, I don't know about you, but if we are paying taxes to a bunch of satanic pedophiles, I would like to know. That is information I would like to know. Like, I already know we're doing that, but I would like some confirmation. Okay, so literally as I am filming this, Trump is saying he is releasing the Epstein files. So, I guess they weren't a hoax. I'm gonna be so honest. I have no idea what the f is going on, you guys. I'm sure when this video gets posted, there's already gonna be more things that have happened. Also, Mike Johnson apparently said they need to make changes to the files to make sure we, quote, don't do permanent damage to the political.
Yeah, and yeah, because of that, I swear. That was another one that made me think that. But also, they've done so much political badminton with these files that anything that gets released at this point is like, why wasn't it released instantly? Like, the fact it wasn't means that they've done so much political badminton with these things, means that like anything that does come out is not going to be what is it? It's not going to be trustworthy at this point. Yeah. I'm recording this way too late in the night. I should record this earlier and actually hit the dang record button, but I'm starting to lose it over my end over here.
Political system. If releasing the Epstein files would do damage to the political system, then so be it. Then it deserves to be damaged. It deserves to be destroyed.
This is when I noticed I haven't seen past this bit, thankfully, because yeah, this is new. This is when I looked over and I didn't see it saying recording. I saw the time, it said 0. I'm just like, oh no.
Release the files. After all, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Isn't that right, government?
Didn't they say that during like COVID or something?
But it wasn't just the Epstein files thing that has MAGA feeling a little demoralized lately.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent when...
Or fucking invest in talent in the goddamn country that we already have, you dumbass.
We have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here.
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn.
We've talked.
Oh my God, Trump. Anyone? Oh my God. That's why you don't put businessmen in charge of the government.
about this a few times on this channel, actually very recently in the male loser epidemic video. The no talented Americans thing is a myth pushed on us by corpos and billionaires, so they can hire foreign workers who will work for less money and won't unionize. Worker drones who will work under the coercion of deportation, essentially creating infinite scab labor. Even though there are so many Americans in these fields looking for jobs. But those spoiled Americans will ask for a living wage so they can live in a 600-foot square apartment. How dare they? We can't do that. So import 1 billion immigrants. After all, it's good for business.
Folks are not thrilled about this idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States.
If we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business. And it's not that I want them, but I view it as a business.
Unfortunately, America does feel like...
Oh, my God. Let them go out of business. Let them start. Like, oh my God. Tear it all down to rebuild it. That's how to build it better. That's how it has to be. Like, oh, it's so annoying.
Nothing but 3 corporations in a trench coat. But America is not a business. Fortunately, America does feel like nothing but 3 corporations in a trench coat. But America is not a business. America is not a corporation. It is a nation. The contrast of what Trump is saying here compared to how he used to talk is staggering. Republicans embracing populism, at least rhetorically, is what gave rise to Donald Trump and fundamentally changed the way Republicans do politics in America. If you go back and watch the debates of Donald Trump in 2016, it's crazy.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. They lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right.
I remember being like, damn, that's not how politicians in general really talked at that time. Like, we would see it from Bernie Sanders and maybe like Ron Paul, but to get up on stage in a Republican debate in front of Republican donors saying that kind of shit was unheard of. Bro was getting booed. Trump won in 2016 by decrying the bloodlust and warmongering of the Republican Party, but also by speaking to the economic woes of the average working class American. Basically saying, I see you, to people who felt like they haven't been seen by either party in a very long time. Like, I saw people in my life, my neighbors and stuff, that were all like Obama voters, like just flipped to Trump, and now like all of Long Island. Long Island is like the Florida of the Northeast, bro. It is like Trump country there now. Before Trump... Oh, my nuggies are here. My nuggies are here. 1 second. 1 second. I must go get my nuggies. It's nuggie time. 34-year-old woman, by the way. Mother, by the way. Before Trump, the Democrats basically relied on talking about how the Republican Party didn't care about the working class. But eventually, the problem for Democrats was the working class didn't care about them. But now it seems like the Republican Party is going back on all of that and becoming the Bush-era neoconservative party again, right as they're winning, embracing freaks like Lindsey Graham.
So I just want to say, I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes. Trump is my favorite president. We've run out of bombs. We didn't run out of bombs in World War II.
Republicans, is that what you want your party to be? Lowering taxes and killing people? We tried that already. To many Republicans, the solution to the affordability crisis wreaking havoc on Americans is simply trusting the free market, working hard, and if that doesn't work, they bust out all reliable.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here.
Cool. Send me to the Philippines. Like, give me like a job that pays like $10 here and send me to the Philippines, $10 an hour. I'll be freaking happy as a clam.
I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that.
Ah yes, the classic. Just move. Just move from Economic Zone 67 to Economic Zone 69. I don't know, man. Maybe some people actually like where they live. Maybe they want to make their community better. This is like the libertarian version of just deal with it when you talk to leftists about crime. Like, no, we shouldn't just deal with it. We shouldn't just move. Maybe we can make the cities in our country livable and safe. Maybe better things are possible, actually. My husband and I moved away from our families because of his job, and it f***ing sucks. It sucks raising kids without an extended family around. Say hi to grandma on FaceTime.
That's what I'm kind of at right now too, with like I want to move to a place that gives me better opportunities for jobs. But at the same time, it's like my parents are here. I got a big house, or they have a big house. I got a family. I could expand the family here, but it's like I got to drive like an hour for my job, and it's just like this is so annoying.
Not normal, not natural. When I was growing up, it was like aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents were just coming in and out of my house, like bringing over food, like, hey.
Luckily, I still have, like, we still do that with my family. Every, like, 5 years we get together still, except for 10 years ago when I couldn't go, unfortunately. But yeah, it happens with me still, thankfully, and it's really, really nice. But it's kind of fading because, like, I noticed for myself at least, I really don't, I feel like an outcast. It's really weird. It's like whenever I speak, I'm always the one that gets like, whenever I say anything about something, it feels like I get just completely shit on. And I'm just like to the point where whenever I go to these now, I just want to find a spot that's like under the shade, still close to people, and just like read a book to myself and don't talk to anyone, or maybe just text my girlfriend while I'm there or whatever. And yeah, just sit there and, maybe be in the sun and just and bathe in the sun or whatever, and just be like, yeah, whatever. I've tried to do that. There was one time I did that, and they yelled at me saying that's someone else's spot. It's just like, okay, I'll move when they get. No, that's someone else's spot. It's like, okay, I'll move when that's someone else's spot. It's like, I'll fucking move when they get here. Okay, fuck off.
Hey, I got some mancati. I would be babysat by my cousins and my aunts. And because we moved away, my kid won't have that. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's one reason many young people are putting off having children. The complete lack of community, the lack of a village.
Well, that's also the thing too. It's like, it's nice to just pawn your kids off on your grandma or grandpa, and then you and your significant other can go out and have some fun together.
If you can't afford to live where your family lives, just move to fucking Gary, Indiana, where there's nobody around and no jobs and no family and no friends, but hey, at least you can afford a house there. That's not how life should work, Ben. Maybe take a step back and try to understand. Am I doing bird hands too much? You guys have made me so insecure about the fucking bird hands thing ever since this meme.
Oh yeah, bird hands. Let's see. When liberal women bring out this hand gesture, get ready to hear the worst take of your life. Giga-based dad. Chat, is this true?
Okay, listen, I'm a woman, okay? We are programmed to scold children. And when no children are around, we scold people on the internet, okay? Anyway, Nick Fuentes is a far-right commentator and a controversial figure to say the least. But his main topic he covers is Israel, which is an extremely hot topic that many other right-wing commentators seem to not want to touch. And the rare times they do touch it, it's them telling you not to talk about it, questioning why you care so much, or shape-shifting into the woke mob they fought against for so many years, calling you names, calling for you to be censored. What's funny is they didn't care about any of Nick Fuentes' rants on like race or women. They only started caring when his rants on Israel were blowing up. Nick recently did an interview with Tucker Carlson, which completely ignited the MAGA civil war that was brewing on the right for some time now. It got so ridiculous that even Chuck Schumer went on the Senate floor and called for a disavowal of Nick Fuentes. Sir, with all due respect, none. Why do politicians need a resolution in the Senate to disagree with a citizen? Hello, I have gathered you all here today to disavow Hitler Bussy 420.
Yeah, and it's like, I never really watched Nick Fuentes myself. I only learned about him recently through that podcast because everyone was blowing up and talking about it, because I knew about Tucker Carlson, and I've heard of Nick Fuentes, but never actually knew what he was about. And I didn't realize he was a young guy too. So yeah, I'm just like, and he got a pretty big following quite young. But yeah, it was just like, it's interesting. I haven't really seen why you can't talk about Israel critically yet. I don't know what the problem is, but yeah, it's very interesting to watch. I haven't tripped across a video really explaining it yet.
All here today to disavow Hitler Bussy 420. People can't afford groceries, Charles. Ben Shapiro, in particular, has spent the last few months extremely confused and angry about Zohran Mamdani and Nick Fuentes becoming popular in the mainstream, all while his numbers continue to drop. I honestly don't think he understands what is happening here, so I am going to explain to you, Ben, what exactly is going on here.
All right, cool. She'll explain the Israel thing, hopefully. This will be nice.
The American dream does not exist anymore for most people. Young people followed advice that worked for older generations, and it got them nowhere. Young people are tired of this stale, moldy, old, dead consensus that has dominated American politics for a very long time. The one that dragged us into all these foreign wars and sold us out for some cheap plastic shit from China. Young people are tired of being told to sit down and shut up and pledge allegiance to the free market in a country that seems to not give a shit about them, as well as a foreign country they have absolutely no connection to. For so long, establishment hacks and establishment shills looked at the issues bothering the people and just kind of dismissed them. Can't afford to live where you grew up? Just move. Don't like that the toothpaste is locked behind plexiglass? Just deal with it. Think it's kind of f***ed up how you work 40 hours a week and still can't afford to pay rent? What are you, some kind of communist? You don't like funding a genocide with your tax dollars? What are you, anti-Semitic? If you don't address the issues of the people will gravitate towards those who are addressing those issues. It's not Mamdani's fault he won. It's yours. It's not Nick Fuentes' fault he's popular. It's yours. The tragedy of Ben Shapiro is that he led a life worshipping the free market, only to lose in the free marketplace of ideas. Now, with all this neocon rhetoric coming out of the GOP, are the Democrats going to pick up the populist ball that they are fumbling? Are they actually going to get their shit together? Well, they are trying, because they have written an article called Deciding to Win, where after interviewing over 300,000 American voters from both parties, they may have finally discovered the secret to winning.
To give ourselves the best chance to win, we recommend the following changes to our approach. Democrats need to 1. Focus our messaging on an economic program centered on lowering costs, growing the economy, creating jobs, and expanding the social safety net.
Yeah, and this is like anything they say, like they need to speak like actual humans whenever they type this stuff, and not just like a freaking corporation talking down to people, or just like using special words like. It's so exhausting, honestly. Like after hearing this first one, it's like anything else they say is not going to be great.
2. Advocate for popular economic policies. Moderate our positions where our agenda is unpopular, including on issues like immigration, public safety, energy production, and some identity and cultural issues.
So basically it took you guys 10 years, millions of dollars, and dozens of Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, they're just saying this to get like people to vote for them. They're not actually going to do anything. This is this is exhausting. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I want to finish this video.
Meetings to come to the conclusion that everyone has been saying forever. You wasted a decade worshipping at the altar of mentally ill Karens, and now you're acting like, hey, what if we were normal? Is a groundbreaking political discovery.
Yeah.
F*** you.
Oh, it's great listening to Shu on at normal speed sometimes. That's just that fuck you hits so much harder. What was I going to say? Oh, that reminds me of the there was an article that I came across a few years ago where basically it was like democratic people or left-leaning people rediscovering monogamy. It's just like we should try just like sleeping with just one partner. I find so much more excitement in doing that and so much more purpose in life. It's like, yeah, it's like you're rediscovering Atlantis.
I could have told you all this for free. It is a bad sign that it took you over a decade to come to the same conclusion that my audience has come to like a decade ago. And they're all retarded. Please reflect on this, I beg of you. Also, what do you mean you had unpopular positions on public safety? Like, why would you even say that out loud? Yeah, let's vote for the party that admits it was wrong about the issue of crackheads shanking people in the street. I love this quote from Nancy Pelosi randomly shoved in here.
Winning an election is a decision. You make a decision to win, and then you make every decision in favor of winning.
How deep! How thought-provoking! Thank you, Nancy. What would we do without you? Probably win an election.
Democrats have changed our focus. In comparison with the Democratic Party of 2012, today's Democratic Party is more focused on issues like climate change, democracy, abortion, and identity and cultural concerns, and less focused on the economy and middle class. The table below shows the shift. Through an analysis of the prevalence of selected words in the 2024 Democratic Party platform, in comparison with the 2012 Democratic Party platform.
Okay, no one cares about climate change, honestly, at this point. Democracy? What the frick are you talking about? Abortion? That's more of a left-wing thing, but at this point, I think it's kind of lost. You kind of lost the plot on that one after Roe v. Wade got overturned. Identity and culture concerns and less focus. You guys are trying to get more focus on identity and culture concerns? I guess the culture one is good, but identity?
This whole study is really interesting, but I need you guys to see this chart because when I first saw this, the scream I screamed. So Democrats since 2012 have increased their rhetoric on race by, sit down, 1,137%. On the gays, 1,044%.
Yep.
Their rhetoric on men has decreased by 51%. It is now negative 51%. On fathers, negative 100%. They just stopped talking about that shit. Veterans, negative 31. Them. The economy, negative 51 because nobody cares about that, right? The middle class, 79%, but I guess you can't really talk about something that is disappearing. And jobs, negative 47%. It somehow gets worse. Apparently voters trust Republicans more on the most important issues to them and trust Democrats the most on the percent. It somehow gets worse. Apparently voters trust Republicans more on the most important issues to them and trust Democrats the most on the least important issues to them. Like they literally care the least about LGBT, but trust Democrats the most with it. The most popular Democratic policies among voters are things like lowering drug prices, banning stock trading, expanding Medicare, and raising the minimum wage. While the most unpopular Democratic policies are things like abolishing the police, providing free healthcare to illegal immigrants, and affirmative action. You're telling me this for the first time. Democrats, here is some advice for free. Democratic policy, expanding voters, trust Democrats the most with it. The most popular Democratic policies among voters are things like lowering drug prices, banning stock trading, expanding Medicare, and raising the minimum wage. While the most unpopular Democratic policies are things like abolishing the police, providing free healthcare to illegal immigrants, and affirmative action. You're telling me this for the first time. Democrats, here is some advice for illegal immigrants and affirmative action.
Okay.
You're telling
I did miss that last one.
me this for the first time. Democrats, here is some advice for free. You can't just be MAGA light. Why would people drink Mr. Pibb when Dr. Pepper is right there? You know what I'm saying? You gotta bring something different, something better to the table. And that difference should be working class focused economic populism. I don't just want two neocon parties, okay? But all this is pointless when it's clear the Dems are not changing at all. They're just gonna change their messaging. They're putting pretty wrapping paper and a bow on a big fat smelly turd. There is a chance that the Democrats may win based entirely on Orange Man bad. Again, which means they might get into office by learning absolutely f***ing nothing.
Orange Man is going to be gone in the next one, so it's going to be open again, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Again. Then the voters will go, oh my god, nothing has changed, and then they'll vote for a Republican. American politics is just a revolving door of villains, isn't it? Rest assured, whoever wins, we lose. If you're actually gonna do this shit, if you're actually gonna do what you're saying in this little article, you better be going whole hog, not just the tip.
I would kind of be interested to talk to Shu about what she thinks is gonna happen, like, super critically to the USA, because I think she still believes in the fact that, like, we can turn this corkscrew of a dive on a plane going down into the earth around, and I don't think we can.
Talking, embracing shoesalism.
Alright, let's hear this shoesalism.
For many years, I have been smeared as many things. Grifter, flip-flopper, fence-sitter, racist, sexist, homophobic, but I am not a grifter, flip-flopper, or a fence-sitter. I'm simply living in 2055. You see, America has been a hyper-capitalist, economically center-right, socially center-left country since about the mid-century. And I know libertarians in my audience are gonna be like, it's not capitalism, it's cronyism. Okay, whatever the f*** you wanna call it, it sucks, okay? So what if instead, and hear me out, what if instead we were a more people-focused, community-focused, working-class-focused, economically left, socially right country. All the data shows more people fall into that quadrant, the populist quadrant, the socialist quadrant, if you will, than the current system we are in today. If a socialist party existed, it would be incredibly popular, but it doesn't exist. And that's probably by design, honestly. The Social Democrat Party of Denmark has passed many progressive policies that liberals in America would only dream of. Protection from rent hikes, free college and healthcare, carbon taxes, and a very strong welfare system. But the Social Democrat Party also believes in a strict immigration policy. They believe that if immigration is too fast or chaotic, it puts pressure on working class communities, weakens social unity, and makes it harder to maintain their strong welfare system. Wow, what a f***ing grifter Denmark is. I feel like so many people nowadays are like terminally left-right brain to the point where like they look at issues and instead of being like, that solution makes sense to me, I believe that, I agree with that, they instead go, that's the left-wing solution, therefore I will believe in that. And it's so stupid and hyper-partisan and makes absolutely no sense to me, and that's why I think like a lot of left-right brain hyper-partisan people don't understand me or people like me. That's why they call me a centrist or fence-sitter or flip-flopper or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm not a fence-sitter. I have many strong opinions. You just don't like them. And no, I'm not a flip-flopper just because you don't understand the concept of having opinions that don't perfectly fall on the arbitrary, always changing left-right axis that is American circus politics.
I just call myself a free thinker. It's like I don't try to give myself labels, because the second you give yourself a label, people are going to attach all these preconceived notions they have of that label to you, which I may not be. So I'm just going to be like, no, I just call myself a free thinker. It's just like even like watching anime, when I'm like, hey, if you watch anime, I'm just like, I tend to not give specifics. I'm like, yeah, I've watched some. I don't like to give out too much, because like there are some people I've come across that are really diehards and read the mangas and shit. I don't do that. I just go across more of the popular ones and sometimes dive down into the more obscure ones, which are really nice, and try to keep those on my radar as well. But yeah, it's just like I don't try to say this is what I do. Like even being a gamer, people are like, oh, do you play Call of Duty? I have never played a Call of Duty game in my life. Maybe once in passing, but I'd never bought one. So yeah, I try not to give myself labels on stuff.
There's nothing incoherent about my beliefs on paper. None of them contradict one another. I don't understand. She likes free healthcare but doesn't want to chemically castrate children? She believes in workers' rights but wants a stricter border? I don't get it. Like, where is the contradiction? I'm basically just Bernie Sanders before he got his spine surgically removed by the DNC. In conclusion, MAGA and the Republican Party embracing populism is what made them so popular in the first place. But if the Republican Party's answer to all these issues young people are having is, F you, just move, you're not talented, maybe you'll own a home when you're 70 years old, they're doomed. Like they had a small brief fling with populism and ghosted it. Just pumped and dumped. Like a fat whore they're ashamed of and won't bring out on dates in public.
As I'm editing this, Trump and Mamdani had a meeting together and it was very interesting.
We were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes and people had no idea. When he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. We agree on a lot more than I would have thought.
I'm sorry, this is my new favorite problematic yaoi ship. They love each other. Maybe it's not over, folks. Maybe the power of friendship and populism will save us all.
Listen, I want my kids to grow up in a safe and affordable world where they can get jobs and they can start a family and then they can have the same for their kids. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's what most people want.
Yeah, I would like that. And honestly, like at this point, what I'll probably do is once I have kids and everything, I'm just going to sacrifice everything I can in my life to make their lives better. Like I'm going to, all the money that I could spend on something to like, I don't know, to get like chocolate or I don't know, anything that could be like a luxury or something like that. I'm just going to like not spend it. I'm going to be very conscious of my money and try to just put that into like a bank account for the kids so they can have it when they turn 18. And then hopefully I've taught them to be good with money and they'll be able to actually use that properly, because they won't know about the account until much later.
left and right. They just have different ideas on how to get there. It just so happens my ideas happen to be the correct ones, and if you disagree with them, you will be sent to the re-education camp. Do you want one? Do you want a nuggie? Pledge your allegiance to Shoeism and you get a nuggie. So that was that little video. If you liked it, please subscribe for more. And if you want to help support the channel, donate to my Patreon, link down below. All patrons get every single video uncensored a day early. If you can't or don't want to support me on Patreon, that's fine.
Don't say it.
I don't care.
Don't say it.
I didn't want you to anyway.
Don't say it.
Baka.
Shut
okay,
up.
I will see you guys soon.
Shoe, I am going to strangle you. Shut the hell up. That's just cringe nowadays. It was funny in the day, but now it's not.
Soon with a fun slop video, just in time for Christmas.
Sweet. Can't wait for that slop one. I hope it's a good slop one. It's like r/nice girls or something. Alright, any last bit at the very end here? No, nothing. Well, you guys have a great one. This was a fun video. I freaking sucked that I forgot how to record at the beginning of this. But you guys have a great time, and I'm gonna edit this tomorrow and get it uploaded either that day or the day after. But you guys have a good one, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.